is up, book nerds? My name is Hillary, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you all the prompts and the books that I am doing to participate in the Thankfulathon. So let's get right on into it. Here are all the books that I am going to be reading for Thankfulathon, which is an all-month read-along that you do, and I'm excited to do it because I did it last year and had a blast just reading books with certain prompts to them, and you don't have to be exactly right with the prompt. It's more just what you want to read and what you think of it. So I'm going to set these down and go over them with you. So prompt number 1 is a popular fantasy book. So I was actually looking on the internet and trying to figure out what is a popular fantasy book, because what I think would be popular might not be popular, and I just wanted a general opinion about what would be popular. And what came up was Throne of Glass. So I went off of Throne of Glass and decided that for this prompt I am going to be reading Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. This is technically it's the 3rd book in Throne of Glass series, but if you put Assassin's Blade before Throne of Glass, it's the 4th book. But Throne of Glass is about a girl named Selena, and she is an assassin and is trying to become the king's champion so she can earn her freedom in 4 years after, with working with him. I've loved the first couple of books that I've read, and I'm excited to continue on in the series and find out what happens with Selena and what she gets into and see her romances and what happens with those. For prompt number 2, it is a new to you book or author. So this one was kind of hard for me because I usually don't buy new books, and I wait until I hear other people talking about the book before I get it. So a lot of my books are older books, and a lot of them are books that I've read other books by the authors. But I did find one, and you're going to think I'm crazy because I've never read a book by this author, but it is The Deal by L. Kennedy, and this is the first book in the Off-Campus series, and I just know this is a sports romance, and the main girl is tutoring this guy, and she wants him to be able to flirt with guys, I guess, and it's kind of like an opposites attract love story, but a sports romance, like I said, and I'm excited to read this because I've heard nothing but great things about this book. They said the series, it's kind of wishy-washy, but the first book is the best one, and I am so stoked to get to this. Prompt number 3 is a historical fiction. So if you know me, I'm not big on reading historical fiction books, but I did find one that I got last year from Book of the Month and am really excited to read and to get to, but it also has had some mixed reviews. But that book is The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. It says just a little bit on the inside: a forgotten history, a secret network of women, a legacy of poison and revenge. Welcome to The Lost Apothecary. This one, I've heard you either like it or you hate it, and I'm hoping I like it too. I think at first they were selling this on as a thriller, but I've heard it's more of a historical fiction. And when I looked up historical fiction books online, it came up with The Lost Apothecary, and I figured what a great way to read also a new author and a book that I've had since last year and have been wanting to get to. The next prompt is a book you chose because of the cover. So I didn't know if this meant a book you bought because of the cover or a book you want to read because of the cover. So I went with the second one, and that book is A Dragon Bird in the Fern by Laura Ruckert, and this one is from a Beacon book box that I got last year, and I just love this cover. I think it's so pretty with the blues and the blacks. But on the back it says, while the entire kingdom mourns, Scylla's betrothed arrives and requests that 17-year-old Giara take her sister's place as his bride to confirm the alliance between their countries. Marrying the young king intended for her sister and traveling to his distant home are distressing enough, but with dyslexia and years of scholarly struggles, Giara abandoned any hope of learning other languages long ago. She's terrified of life in a foreign land where she'll be able to communicate. When Giara discovers evidence that her sister's assassin came from the king's own country, if she marries the king, Giara can hunt the murderer and release her family from Scylla's ghost, whose thirst for blood mounts every day to save her family. Giara must find her sister's killer before he murders her too. This sounds really good, and I'm excited to get to this one. It sounds like a fantasy and a mystery and kind of like a arranged marriage, and I love those kind of books, and am excited to read this and see what I think about it, because I've never heard of this book before, so it'll be interesting to see what I think without knowing anything about what other people think about it. The fifth prompt is a 2021 fantasy release, and so for this prompt I chose Down Comes the Night by Ellison Saft. This is a fantasy, and it says a little bit on the inside, says, he saw the darkness in her magic, she saw the magic in his darkness. This sounds like an opposite attract sort of romance, but also a kind of like a mystery or thriller or even a fantasy, and I'm excited to get to this. I've heard mixed reviews on this one also, and I love books that have mixed reviews, but I go in without really having an idea about it, about what people think about it, and just make up my own mind about it. And that's the nice thing about reading books. You can like a book that somebody else hates, or you can hate a book that someone else likes and no one's really heard about that. And the last prompt for this challenge is a predicted 5-star read. Now this next one is a very, very popular book that I see everywhere on BookTube and BookTok and Instagram, and I finally broke down and bought it because it was at my local Walmart. And so I am going to read this book for this prompt, and that is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, Volume 1. This is about a boy named Charlie and Nick, and I think one is struggling with his sexuality and the other one is bi. I'm not for sure, but I know it's going to be a show on one of the streaming services, whether it's Hulu or Netflix, I can't remember. But I am excited to read this. I've heard nothing but great things about it, and I flipped through this and I love the art in it and think it's so great. But I figured this would be an easy read to get through, and if I love it, I'm hoping to get the next 3 books in this series and own them all and enjoy them all. And yeah, I've never read an Alice Oseman book, so this is going to be my first time obviously reading her books and seeing what I think about them. I own Radio Silence by her, but I wanted to read this one first so then I can get a feel for her writing. That is it for this video. If you are participating in the Thankfulathon read-along for the month of April, let me know, and let me know what books you're choosing to read for this. And if you have read any of the books that I've shown you in this video, let me know down below in the comments and what your thoughts on them were. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and if you want to know when I'm posting next, hit that subscribe and the notification bell, and you'll be the first one to know. And until next time, keep on reading, people. Bye!